Testing. Okay.
Great. Well, welcome.
You sure?
Got it. Welcome everybody to the Irvine International Board Meeting. Today is March 17th, 2022, and want to welcome all guests and parents as well, and staff members, and especially our board members. Thank you for being with us. Tonight we're going to begin with roll call, and then we'll start with public comments. We'll have our closed session enumerated on our agenda, and then we'll come out of closed session with the rest of the agenda. To start our roll call, even though I did it informally earlier, let's do it formally together. Ethan Kay.
Present.
And Brett Freeman.
Present.
Miller Zhang.
Present.
Thank you. Glenn Rogers.
Present.
Dr. Jolene Smith, have you joined us? Let's note not with us is Dr. Jolene Smith and Dr. Edward Watson. I caught you with a drink. Sorry about the timing. And of course, myself, Doug Hewson, present as well. We want to begin. It's 6:06. We want to begin with any public comments. And thank you, those who have done them before. Our process is that you can activate the hand raise on your screen. Then Mary Beth will call those who are with us on the Zoom call first. If we have others that have submitted written comments, following those, we can do the written comments. We'll remind those that you can comment about things not on the agenda. Really the things on the agenda for the hiring of school librarian, you'll have opportunity later to talk about that. But we'll do about 30 minutes, and then we'll move into our closed session and move forward. Mary Beth, I'll allow you to go ahead and call them one by one if you'd like.
Okay, I'm going to do it by the order that I see it on my screen. I think this is the order that they appeared. So we'll start with IIA member, please. You can unmute.
Thank you.
And
To
then
people,
3 minutes, sorry, 3 minutes.
okay, got it. To people who have been attacking Dr. Scott left and right all year, you need to stop. You've been tolerated for far too long. Your constant persecution and even public shaming now, which took place yesterday on campus, are completely out of line. I can't imagine what Dr. Scott, his wife and family, and their grandchildren who are at this school are going through right now. No one should go through this, and certainly not Dr. Scott and his family and grandchildren. You have kids too. Do you not know how hurtful this is to someone else's children? Do you not have hearts? You should be ashamed of yourselves if you still have a conscience. Dr. Scott is a man of good character, principle, and integrity. He is genuine and kind-hearted, and he cares so much about all the children at the school. He is 100 times better than all of you people added up together who are launching these vicious attacks constantly. You need to stop.
That's so nice. I just want to hold you for a moment. You'll get a little extended time, and I really appreciate not only what you're saying and your passion, but just shape your comments toward the board members as opposed to other parents, and it'll be perfect. But continue on if you mind a little.
I like to, sure. I like the board to hear my opinion on those people, that they should stop their vicious attacks on Dr. Scott, and they should, I wonder if they not have anything else better to do. They should go get a life and spend some time with their children. And to the board members, I really appreciate what you have done for the school. You didn't have to serve this role, but out of care for the school, you've done so much unpaid. For you to also be under attack by these people is unfair and wrong. But please know that you're greatly appreciated by those of us who are still reasonable. And I like the board and to know that I like to address this to the general community. We all send our kids here for education and for them to succeed. And I hope that we can work together toward this common goal. Please remember, this school wouldn't even have existed without Dr. Scott. We don't need any more of these attacks and public shaming. Think about their impacts on our children as they witness it with their own eyes. We need to come together and focus on what's important, which is education and the nurturing school environment. Thank you, and that's all I have to say.
Shin.
Darren, please. You can go ahead and unmute, Darren.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. I had to figure out the interface. I appreciate your time. I can tell you that to the board over the past week, I've had so many encouraging things happen. Believe it or not, with all the events that have gone over the past week, there's a lot of things to be encouraged about. I found out that I am not alone in my defense of this school and my defense of Dr. Scott's superb leadership in the school. So many parents have reached out to me and brought me into the fold as far as what they're seeing and how much they agree with me. And it's so amazing that we've been able to do that. They've been able to organize in a way and that I really didn't foresee. I really thought I was almost going to be alone in this, and now I find that I'm not standing alone. Another thing that's really been encouraging for me over the past week is I found out that this group of, I'm going to call them disgruntled parents, have almost completely collapsed. They've gotten so into the emotion of this that they're ignoring facts. I want to tell you why I think they've completely collapsed. When you have something on your side, truth and justice, you don't go out and bully people. You don't go out and assault people. You don't go out and circumvent the protocol that is necessary to find the truth and push everyone else to rush to judgment. When you don't have the truth on your side, you want to rush to judgment. You want to go out and find some sort of emotional trigger. I'm so encouraged that so many people have reached out to me. And as we move on, I would like to ask a specific question of the board. I would like the board to address this specific question. I'm going to address this to Principal Trang specifically. Do you support this survey that went out biased and unvetted ahead of time, going out beyond what the board was ready to do? Do you support that's a yes or no question? Do you support it publicly or not, sending out this biased and unvetted survey? Do you support the circumvention of protocol in the way that the teachers' letters were sent out and mass emailed to everyone ahead of time? I want to know specifically, yes or no, do you support that publicly? And do you support publicly the rush to judgment that's being pushed and the bullying that's being pushed at our school? That's a question. If you say yes, you do support that, then I'm going to probably question your leadership. But if you don't support these things that are happening, then I don't know why all of these people would continue their push to have this rush to judgment if they're not supported by you.
Okay, 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Edwin?
Hello, board. So I guess that this meeting is still going on, even though on Monday after 6 p.m. within 72 hours, the agenda was adjusted. But I guess no Brown Act violation, apparently. I just want to point out that I have commented on concerns about Mr. Scott since the beginning. I understand it was quote unquote just COVID, but my point being in August was that his personal views override his ability to be to think critically. And that came to a head this Monday when he went to the classrooms and told children that they are not required to wear masks when the actual mandate is it's strongly recommended. I talked to him on Tuesday and he told me that he asked the children, what do you think has been happening for the last 2 years? And he pointed at the masks. I asked him, why do you think masks have been a mandate for the last 2 years? He literally told me something. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't remember literally, but he pointed to Sacramento. His point being was political. He could not tell me the word COVID. What rational person in this day and age could not comprehend that masks mandates are related to COVID? I was trying to point to him that you, Doug, had told him that he's not to talk about COVID procedures. And I was trying to tie together COVID with the protocols at the school, which Mr. Scott sent out on August 18th, include masks. Therefore, he should not have done that on Monday. I found out that there were several children who were told by their parents to wear their masks. They took them off after he went in there. That is reckless, reckless. Okay, I talked to this board back in August about this. Now, I don't know what you guys are going to choose. And I've been telling you guys about this from the beginning. It's speaking towards his ability to make decisions. And I really question it because even with Rocker, now we're still paying Rocker paid administrative leave. I don't even know how much, but it's got to be a lot given the position. I believe Delano was something about the budget being kind of tight this year. I can only imagine what it's like now. So please just consider Mr. Scott is not the right person to lead this school. He failed in 2001. He failed in 2018 in Riverside. IUSD denied him. OCBE denied him the first time. It took 2 times with OCBE to do it. Why? Because he got Principal Chong, who came from a successful school up north. Thank you.
Okay, Delgado. You can unmute, Delgado.
Working on it. I get this thing on. There we go. I think I got it to work there. You know, I just wanted to tell the board that jealousy, suspicion, and insecurity are the cancers of the mind. And you can always recognize people that have this illness by the negative nature of their speech. And unfortunately, there is a vocal negative minority who has been escalating their attacks against the school, from letter writing campaigns to delivering false accusations to board meetings. The teachers no longer feel comfortable participating in the PTO meetings. And just recently, they were intimidating potential parents who were in an effort at the school grounds, who in an effort to reduce the enrollment at the school to make Dr. Scott look bad. And now I heard there was a physical altercation at the school with these people against a disabled old man where the police had to be called. What's next with these people? Due to these new events, I asked the board to consider any decisions that they have made that was based on the information received from these people. Complainers are not doers. They think they're helping, but they are not. Left to their own actions, they will only destroy. The school is at a very critical junction right now, and I asked the board to look deeply into all the pieces of the puzzle and to see who really is the problem at the school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jessica and Brandon, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for listening. First of all, my name is Jessica. My husband Brandon also dialed in as well. We moved to Irvine less than a year ago. We were so fortunate to have found IIA so our kids can continue to learn, continue to be immersed in a bilingual and multicultural environment. We've been relatively quiet so far, but we really felt compelled to speak up, especially tonight. There are 2 points I wanted to make and a final ask. Number 1 point, the first point I wanted to make is, or address, is the on-campus protesting. I can certainly understand and empathize with the frustration some of the parents might be experiencing. I really can. But what went on yesterday was truly a disgrace, in my opinion. That was not the right way of going about things. It was traumatizing to my kids and certainly a lot of other kids who witnessed that. Even more disheartening was that we witnessed and experienced firsthand how some parents are actively trying to deter new and potential parents from considering IIA. My husband showed up on campus picking up the kids. Some parents approached him asking him if he were considering the school, if he knew there oh, these horrible things that are going on with the school. When they found out my husband was just a regular parent picking up the kids, they kind of gave up. In my opinion, that was not actively solving the problem. That's destroying our school from the inside. That's point number one. The second point I want to make is regarding the survey results. I understand that from optics, overwhelmingly majority of the parents want to leave the school or quit the school solely because of Dr. Scott. I mean, to be completely honest, we are also evaluating other schools, but not for the reasons you might think. It's really because of all these infighting and divisiveness, which is sad for me to see. My kids come home with big smiles on their faces, sometimes dirty little faces. They tell us they loved the school even more than the private school that they were in previously. But all this divisiveness and infighting, it just leaves a bad taste in our mouth. Often we feel like we have to pick a side. It's either you're on the side of the teachers or you're on the side of Dr. Scott. My reaction to it, our family's reaction to it is that, why do we have to pick a side? Why is it either or, right? Why can it be an and? Why can I say I support a dedicated, caring, fantastic teachers, and I support the school administrators as well? Right. I think when they work synergistically, and only when they work synergistically, we can achieve a successful school, which translates to our kids' happiness and their learning. So to summarize my 2 points, number one is this highly emotionally charged protest is not the right way to go. The second point is that please take the survey results with a grain of salt. Right. I'm old enough to know that no one is perfect. Is Dr. Scott perfect? By all means, no. Full disclosure, I'm not friends with Dr. Scott. I actually never had in-depth conversations or interactions with Dr. Scott. But sitting here, I cannot say I don't feel bad for him. Just being attacked day after day, months after months, personally and so deeply to his family.
3 minutes.
I just can't. So last thing I would ask is that I know that we're faced with a conflict and friction. It's really important to say that how we react to to those challenges and what actions we take collectively really speak to our value, speak volume to our identity, our values, and our characters. So we're all very mature, logical, reasonable, highly educated adults. So I would really encourage everyone to
3 minutes is up.
3 minutes.
take the anger aside, take the ego
3
aside.
minutes is up.
It's like drinking poison, but wishing the other person would die. It doesn't
3
work.
minutes is 3 minutes is
Sorry.
up.
Sorry, excuse me.
Stop.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you. Jason, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mary Beth. First of all, I want to make a note that so far there have been 5 speakers. 4 of them are obviously supporting Michael Scott, and that represents about 50% of the total 30 minutes of time that parents have available to voice their opinions. There were 2 surveys that were conducted. One was published by the PTO, the other was actually issued by the board itself. Both of those delivered the same results. Roughly 75% of the parents oppose Michael Scott. So there's an extremely small minority of people that support Michael Scott, yet they have gotten 50% of airtime. So I think I'm requesting that we extend the airtime to actually show the correct proportion of who actually supports Michael Scott and who opposes Michael Scott. So I'd like to state that first, because right now it's extremely unbalanced. And so that needs to be put in perspective and needs to be set right. So also some other people have gone over 3 minutes as well too. Okay, so I know that there is a proposal based on the agenda to redefine Michael Scott's role as a founding executive director, and essentially to from the last meeting to limit his role, limit the extent that he can interact with the school, largely as a reaction to the damage that he has caused the school. Let me tell you why that is a terrible idea. And there are four things coming out of that. First of all, I want to let you know, where is this idea coming from? This idea was proposed by Doug Hewson, who we all know is defending Michael Scott and is working in his favor and has done it from the very beginning. Anything that Doug Hewson proposes, I automatically mistrust. So you've got to wonder where the source, where this is coming from. Okay, so the first reason why this is a terrible idea is continued dysfunction. Even if Michael Scott is in a position where he's not even allowed on campus, he is going to still continue to pull the strings and influence his agenda through the board that he is controlling right now with a majority number of seats at the table, and elected not by the parents, but elected within themselves. So you're going to see more dysfunction. Like even if he's on like a different planet, but he's still affiliated with IIA. The second is he's demonstrated he cannot stay within the limits and boundaries that he's been prescribed. Over the last week or week and a half, he has stepped outside the limits on 3 occasions. First, he was told with COVID, was instructed not to discuss anything COVID related. What did he do on Monday? He went into all the classrooms and he blatantly opposed the will and
3
desires
minutes.
of the parents.
3 minutes.
Okay, let me just finish because other people have gotten like extra time. Okay, he can't stay in the box. The second thing is he shouldn't be paid. That money is coming out of the wallet, out of the pockets of the hardworking teachers and administrators who need to get paid. His salary is super inflated. He should not get paid. If any, and what he needs is he actually needs to be removed, completely banned from IIA, and he needs to be chastised. So again, it's a terrible idea. Consider the source where it's coming from. That's not going to solve the issue. The only way that we're going to be able to solve the issue and heal and move forward is by removing Michael Scott. So thank you.
Thank you. Before I call on the next person, I'm going to be more strict with the 3 minutes. So at 3 minutes, I'm just going to mute. Is that okay? All right, go ahead, Anthony.
Thank you, board, for listening to me. Yeah, as I was watching this meeting, I was kind of surprised the number of pro-Scott supporters. But the bottom line is it doesn't matter how many people come up to this and speak today. The PTO survey and the board survey clearly shows that 80% have no confidence in Michael Scott as a leader, and 80% have confidence in Principal Tuan. That's just fact. I also want to address and revisit Doug Hewson's letter dated February 16th, where he said he had high confidence in Michael Scott. He also criticized parents, saying that they had an outrageous imagination, making up stuff, filling in the gaps, and then come to their own wrong conclusion. No, I think, Doug, the one that came to the wrong conclusion was you. You kept up because of your ineptitude and your lack of steadfast leadership. You condoned and allowed Michael Scott to continue his juvenile behavior. That thing that happened on Tuesday, let's keep in mind that you're talking about a man that's 6 foot, over 6 foot, encroaching a personal space of a small woman. And all she was trying to do was pass out flyers. He encroached her personal space and was filming her. All she did was move his phone away. Somehow people are passing around words saying, oh my God, he was assaulted. No, he was not assaulted. That is a flat out lie. He was not assaulted. This juvenile behavior, this is not the first time that he has called the police on a family, on a parent. This has been that's been his pattern. And Doug, I hold you responsible. You're the president of this board. The buck stops with you because you condone him and because you are a personal friend. You allow this to continue. You've known him more than 10 years. You live in Corona. Executive Director Scott, he was, I believe, superintendent at a school in Corona. So you guys have clearly conflicts of interest. And that's clear. Now that's what I'm saying. And Doug Hewson, you keep on condoning him. This keeps on happening. I think it's about time that you step down. I personally think you need to step down. I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for a lot of the parents. I know a lot of Scott friends came on tonight, but the bottom fact is both the PTO survey and the board survey, they correlate 100%. And the other thing is, as far as hiring an interim executive director, that should be a public listing. You guys should follow the rules, and it should be a public listing and going through the normal channels. And let's avoid nepotism and conflicts of interest.
Thank you, Anthony. Teresa, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Teresa, and I am a parent here at IIA. I thank you, board members, for all of your hard work, time, and dedication, as well as the teachers and staff and administration. I do want to point out, as many other parents did, that data does not lie. So I urge you, board members, to take a look at the data that 70% of parents are considering leaving. We do love the school, we love the teachers, our kids are happy, but we are concerned about many things. One of them being a lot of misrepresentation of facts. So in January, the executive director stated that IIA, it's illegal for IIA to do long-term independent study. And I actually looked it up, the EDCO, we called OCD, but that's actually not true. So if the school board approves of it, then IIA is able to do long-term independent study for the families who wish to do it. And I just want to say that I think it's important for the board to check the facts, because sometimes the executive director, perhaps he means well, but he may not know all the ed codes, just like with the director of curriculum position. Perhaps he means well, but it's important for us just to check the facts to see what is actually true. And I thank you for your time and dedication. And I just want to say that I really do want our school to succeed and for us to work together. Thank you.
IIA Dad Irvine. IIA Dad Irvine, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. First of all, I want to thank the board for giving the opportunity for us to speak up. And I'd like to just express my feeling. I was a little bit saddened by my observation recently with a lot of the activities on campus. I think it gets to a point it's becomes a disruptive or harmful, non-constructive, even personal. I think it becomes some of the texts becomes malicious. I'm not a friend of Michael Scott. Okay, I don't want to take a side. Why? What's the purpose? But basically, I think it feels like you guys are gonna have to forced to take a side. I don't, but I feel it's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's not right. Okay, I want the board to understand that there's some things are fundamentally wrong with a lot of these activities. I think I can sense that some people have a personal agenda. If you really care about the school, that's not the way to do it. You're not helping the school. You're destroying the foundation, the very foundation of the school. All right. I wanted to thank whomever the founders of this school who can bring this thing together, so we can have our kids here to receive education. That's what I want to see. I want to see that continue. I think it's time to stop all the personal attacks. Okay, bring just limit your personal feelings, emotions, and bring all the goodness together. It's time to bring harmony, bring unity together, work together for the betterment of the school instead of attack some particular person. I think it's wrong, completely wrong. And previously I didn't know what happens, but after more and more observation, I sense certain things wrong at the board level. I urge the board or ask the board members to take a closer look to really understand what happens, what are the fundamental reasons that cause all these troubles. Is Michael Scott a perfect guy? Probably not. Did he make mistakes? Ask him to apologize, correct the mistakes. Is the mistakes it gets to a point he should go I don't think so. Okay. I'm not a personal friend. In no way, I'm not unrelated to him totally. But I think just to be fair to everyone, all the teachers, the board members, the PTO, and administrators, all the people who bring everything together. We should pay respect to them instead of
3
taking
minutes.
side.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
you,
you.
Mary Beth. We have
Mary
time
Beth,
for
our
yes.
time frame allows for one more.
One more. Okay, Jay.
All right, thank you. I'm going to talk about something everybody knows, but nobody talks about. That is Principal Chuang is behind all this chaos. I think it's time for Principal Chuang to man up and come out to discuss with us directly. Principal Chuang has said that we have no peace unless Michael Scott is out. But he never said that we have peace when Michael Scott is out. Obviously, he's also going to change the board. He's already have some personal attacks arranged on the board members. So it's clear that after he kick out Michael Scott, he's going to change the board. He's already trying to dilute the board with more people. We already have 7 board members. We have enough. All the reasons that change board are just excuses. The reason he want to add more people is to dilute the board and add people who support him. And also, he's also planning, I'm just guessing, he's also planning to clean up the staff and remove the people who doesn't support him. And all he does is to just increase his power. I think he just come up with this politics, making small things big, or just come up with lies. So, but people really believe them. I think that's really sad. I think everybody knows that Principal Chuang is behind it, but just nobody talk about it. I feel really sad about it because Principal Chuang, you gotta man up and come out. Just talk about, admit it. Like Principal Chuang organized the parents to talk to OCDE, and even the news, and like have a lot of damage to our school. Parents, you guys think you are saving the school, but no, you guys are destroying the school. Because like it's not about doing things right, it's about doing the right things. You're gonna see who is lying. The person who say other people's lie, he's lying himself. Principal is gonna come out and say who is behind teacher's letter. Of course, teacher's letter doesn't attack Principal Chuang because Principal Chuang organized the letter, and Principal Chuang is the boss. That's why all the teachers obey him. Like why I'm guessing why Principal Chuang doesn't give any performance results to people, to teachers, because maybe just because whoever obey him will get good performance results. Otherwise, why there's no performance review, and why there's no curriculum, why there's no training for the teachers? I think those are responsible for the principals, not just this politics going around. I think it's getting crazy, really. So let's really understand what is behind all the issues. It's not, you guys think kicking out Michael Scott is going to give us peace, but no. Guys, wake up. It's not just Dr. Scott, it's the PTO. He want to control the PTO. He want to control the board. He want to control the parents. I think he's doing a very good job doing this politics, and many parents believe him. And that's very dangerous, dangerous.
3 minutes,
Thank you.
Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, thank you. I'm forecasting for everyone about 30 minutes. By the way, I didn't say it at the beginning. I should have. Thank you again, everyone, for your participation tonight. I'm forecasting about 30 minutes for our closed session. The topics are listed in our agenda. We'll come out with a report of any action items by vote. But plan on about 30 minutes. And if it's shorter, I'll forecast that to Mary Beth for everybody as well. But Mary Beth, would you invite Nick Driver? He's our advisor and consultant for Operations Brown Act and board participation. If we have a representative from Orange County Board of Education, they're invited as well, but not obligated. But that'll be the limits, board members and those two. Our HR director is not with us tonight, but normally we'd invite her as well. But if you do that, Mary Beth, thank you. Thank you, parents, for being patient.
Doug, do you want to talk about the correction on the date, please?
Oh, thank you very much. For everyone, wanted to note for everyone, on our post, there was a typographical error that posted 2021 for this meeting instead of 2022. I think it's implied it's the year that we are in. And I think it probably lent to no confusion, but perfunctory, we want to note that for the record, that the agenda had a typographical error. So thank you, Mary Beth.
What about the entire agenda changing?
Mary Beth, go ahead and send us into closed session.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. From closed session, board members, welcome back. Action to report out of closed session. The board took action to negotiate a release of our former director of curriculum. And so we'll ask our HR director to carry that out. Secondly, in discussion item number 1, review.
President Houston, they are not out yet. Board members are not out yet.
Oh, they're not. Okay. Thank you, Principal Chung. I can revisit and see if they have something else to say. If you would like to, Mary Beth, would you like to allow me back in for a moment?
Sure.
Thank you.
We're here. I don't
We're
know.
here. Ethan's here.
Brett's here.
Okay, good.
I see Glenn, I see Miller,
Miller's
I
here.
see Dr. Watson.
Doug, are you moving on to the first discussion item then after closed?
Yes. First, let me repeat just for board members as well. Reporting out of closed session, the board took action to negotiate the release of our former director of curriculum. Our HR director will take that action. Now moving on, as board member Freeman said, discussion item, review of comparable compensation data for charter school. I'm going to say interim executive director. We had robust discussion and reviewed a salary compensation comparison. It's now posted in the folder, and the discussion led to idea that we would propose our HR director offer our candidate for interim director of advancement, Edward Watson, a contract that would include $32,100 based on the number of school days remaining. And so that was the summary of the discussion for item number 1.
Interim, Doug, just a interim executive director, right? Not director of advancement.
I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, I misspoke. That's our executive director, interim executive director, and we're forecasting Edward Watson in that role. Should all work out with the contract during this week. second discussion item, report the compensation. And again, that will be approximately $32,100 based on the number of school days remaining. Next, action item, approval of employment agreement for acting executive director. That will be carried over till next Tuesday evening, which gives our HR director the opportunity to actually execute an employment agreement. We want to do everything right. And then the board will take that under consideration and then bring a motion for ratification. The action item, modification of job description for founding executive directors, also carried over to Tuesday as well. Those are our items out of closed session, and then the discussion and action items. Moving on to personnel issues, we approved in a previous board meeting the role and budget for the hiring of a school librarian. And now we have a school librarian selected. And so board members, I want to give public opportunity to talk about school librarian if there's anyone interested in the school librarian discussion. But I'm going to ask for a motion in a moment to approve the contract for the school librarian, who will start actually tomorrow if approved tonight. Board members, you may have to unmute yourself. Could I ask for a board member to approve the contract for our school librarian?
I motion it, Doug.
And that's Brett, I believe.
That's Glenn.
Oh, who is that?
Glenn.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Glenn. And a second, please.
Ethan seconds.
Okay, Ethan, let's do a roll call vote on that. Ethan Kay,
Aye.
Brett Freeman,
Aye.
Miller Zhang,
Aye.
Glenn Rogers.
Aye.
Note Jolene Smith not present. Dr. Edward Watson.
Aye.
And Doug Hewson is an aye as well. And so we have unanimous approval for the hiring of a school librarian. Our agenda is a little bit different tonight. Apologize for those that like everything in the same sequence each time. Now is our Pledge of Allegiance. It's a bit of a patriotic moment, and I'll lead that if I may. I'll place my hand over my heart, and I'll invite others to join me. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We did have minutes that arose out of our previous meeting, and so I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
I'll motion it, Doug.
Thank you, Glenn. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Who was second?
Me.
That was Miller.
Oh, thank you, Miller. Sorry, I didn't. My screen's a little bit different order right now. Let's go ahead and do a roll call vote then to approve the minutes. Ethan Kay.
Aye.
Brett Freeman.
Aye.
Miller Zhang.
Aye.
Glenn Rogers.
Aye.
And Dr. Jolene Smith absent. Dr. Edward Watson.
Aye.
And Doug Hewson is an aye, so minutes are approved. We likely will have our next full board meeting in person under advisement of our Orange County Board of Education. They think it's time for us, and they've done their meetings in person for many, many months now. And just in case we have to do it telephonically like we are now, I do want to approve next meeting's procedures in case we have to use them during the next 30 days. We're really covered for about the next 20 some days, but I think this is perfunctory, but worth doing just in case we need to. So I'll personally make a motion that we vote to approve meeting by abbreviated telephone.
I'd like to invoke my right under the Brown Act, please.
I don't know what that right is.
Because you're going to make a motion, you're taking an action, and I believe as being a member of the public, we do have a right to address in public comments, and we're not allowed to.
Let's, yeah.
Can I have, Mr. Nick Driver clarify that, please?
Thank you. That was what I was thinking too, because we always want to offer that. Nick, on this perfunctory vote, worthwhile to have comments about meeting in person or meeting telephonically?
Yeah, any action item, as the speaker mentioned, does have to allow for public comment on that subject.
Okay, yeah, thank you then. Yeah, share with us your thoughts on the meeting procedures.
Okay, I just wanted to also note that this is my third time that I'm invoking my rights under the Brown Act. And all three times, Mr. Nick Driver is in attendance. And I wanted to ask if IIA is violating the Brown Act regarding this telecommuting, where the location of each of the members that is teleconferencing are not listed on the agenda that's sent out in the 72 hours prior to the board meeting. Is that a requirement under the Brown Act?
I can answer that if you want, Chair
Yes,
Doug.
please.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
That absolutely is a requirement under the Brown Act under normal circumstances. During the pandemic, the normal Brown Act procedures have been suspended. And so teleconferencing locations are not required. And under the emergency declaration, which is still in force, although that might be changing, it has not changed yet by the legislature. It is not a requirement to post locations where board members are situated. So it's a good question because that is normally is the requirement and has been for many years. But for the last couple of years, the pandemic, it is not a requirement.
Yeah, thank you for that question and clarification. Anyone else thoughts or comments on meeting procedures?
I have a question.
On the meeting procedures?
Yeah,
Go ahead, please.
can any parents or anybody participate in the board meeting if you are no longer IIA parents or boards or teachers or staff?
Great question. I think you're referring to public comments time, and that's open to anyone from the public, if that was your question. So it's close to this question because we are talking about meeting procedures, but specifically we're talking about the approval to allow ourselves to operate in the fashion we are under Assembly Bill 361. So it's kind of a really narrow topic right now. I hope I answered that. Yes, someone does not need to belong to the school and have an enrolled child to speak. Nick, you want to add anything to that?
No, that's absolutely right. As a public agency, Irvine International has to allow public comment from any member of the public at any time. So there's no requirement that the that the person be a member of the immediate community, whether staff or parent or student. It's anybody has the right to show up at a meeting and ask their questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Any others before we make a motion? Okay, I'll move that then again, we approve the meeting's procedures according to Assembly Bill 361. And I believe we're extending that out for 30 days. Could I have a second, please?
Second. It's Brett.
Thank you, Brett. Let's do roll call vote. Ethan Kay.
Aye.
Brett Freeman.
Aye.
Miller Zhang.
Aye.
Glenn Rogers.
Aye.
Dr. Edward Watson.
Aye.
And Doug Husen is a yes as well. And so we'll use that as needed. But again, I want to just forecast, it's my intention to do our next regularly scheduled board meeting in person for everybody. I think it will be really nice and unifying for all of us to be together, get to see one another, and even check for the meeting on just personal level. No update. I'm going to move through the rest of the agenda a little bit quick. Some are things we normally do, but this isn't a regularly scheduled monthly meeting. So we're not going to do the update from Dr. Scott or Principal Chong. There's no business and fiscal update that will come again. And we just had a special meeting to approve our interim budget. So I talked with Ethan Kay and he's okay with no update on that. Now there is an action item for comment opportunity 2. We're going to have the opportunity to approve a newly edited nepotism policy. When the charter was approved, but before we recorded our meetings, we had a nepotism policy in place and we posted it. But our Orange County Board of Education asked us, hey, have the board reapprove the nepotism policy as it exists and post it on the website. Well, the previous one's been posted on the website for many, many months. Actually was the basis for which we did our earlier investigation when we were asked to look into whether or not the executive director's son's employment was a violation. Our investigative unit said no, it was not. It fit within our nepotism policy, so it didn't violate the policy. However, we do need to approve the policy again in a recorded meeting, which is the best practice. Public comments on the nepotism policy. We're open to hear a few of those. Anyone like to do that? Nepotism policy.
I would like to ask a question about that.
Please do.
I believe the previous one included a line that said personal relationships. I think this new one does not. What's going on with that? And I'm also wondering, did you guys gloss over the action item of modification of job description of founding executive director?
I'll answer the second question first, and your comment will be addressed by the board members in discussion on the action item 2. So we postponed the action item modification of job description of founding executive director for next Tuesday. We think that will follow better some work we want to do in the next day or so, and also tying it together with the action item approval of employment agreement for acting executive director, or we're going to call it interim, not acting. It's a little bit of semantics, but we landed on the word interim. So yeah, that's our what we did with that action item. We carried it over. Anyone else on a comment about the IIA nepotism policy?
Araceli raised her hand.
Policy. Go ahead. Who's that?
Araceli raised her hand.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Would you repeat that, please?
Araceli from OCDE raised her hand.
Oh, thank you. We have Araceli. Yes.
Yes, President Houston, I just want to clarify that the Orange County Department of Education staff did not ask you to reapprove a nepotism policy. What happened is we asked when the nepotism policy was board approved, and we were told that it was not. So we are asking for you to approve the nepotism policy that has been posted on your website, and that it is the policy that you've been using, not a revised policy in any way, just the one that you've had in place that was never approved to begin with.
Okay, we'll take a little exception publicly with that. We've not been able to demonstrate to Orange County Board of Education that it was approved, but I have a pretty good memory and we approved it, but we don't have a good record of that. And so I take that to heart, and the motion then will be condensed down as she described to approve the nepotism policy as posted on the website. The board can entertain a future revision, but we'll limit it to that tonight, and with the intention that it will be included in the employee handbook. Other public comments on, we'll limit it then to the nepotism policy as it exists on the website. Thank you, by the way, Araceli.
Yes, I have a question. Can I speak?
Yes, please.
Yes. When the board in the future wants to revise the nepotism policy, are they required to post with the changes, like the differentiation of the changes before or within the 72 hours or before the 72 hours, so that parents can identify what the changes are on the agenda or somewhere along the link somewhere? Or how do we know what the changes are? Thank you.
Thank you. Principal, Cho, I think you had something to add.
Yeah, I do want to make a public comment. As I shared with board members in the past that I share my concern to the board, but until now, because of your close relationship, President Houston with Dr. Scott, no action has been taken to protect me from workplace bully because during the closed session around 8:30, Michael Scott just sent you a text to you while you are in closed session saying that I still feel Stephen needs to go as soon as possible to keep school together. We can hire maybe 2 more Mandarin teachers from adjoints. So this is a serious violation of Brown Act. And then I want to file a formal complaint against you and Dr. Scott to OCDE. I'm not going to tolerate any more bullying from both of you. If I cannot protect myself, I cannot protect teachers and students. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Tron.
Thank you.
Good job.
Support
you. Come on, get your woo in there.
Is it okay if I speak? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Can I speak?
Give me a moment just to narrow again our, sorry. There we go. Give me a moment just to narrow again what our conversation is about. That one was a little bit on the side there, but we're talking about the board approving the anti-nepotism policy that's posted on the website. If it's about that, great. If not, it's not the right time.
It sounds like nepotism.
Yeah.
When is it ever the right time? Let the teacher speak.
Well, I appreciate that. And we value the teachers. It's a combination meeting. It's a board meeting. This is our opportunity to talk. We invite the comments on the topic, but not on every topic. So I appreciate that. I just have to move the meeting along according to the agenda. It's not that I don't appreciate you speaking. It's just not, that's not what this is. You know, there are other certainly avenues for contact with the board, but also with, you know, our principal, our director.
We haven't been getting responses from the board.
Okay.
Let the teachers talk.
Let them talk.
Now.
There we go. I'm going to move on then and close the public comments about the anti-nepotism policy posted on the website. Could I ask for a motion from a board member to approve the anti-nepotism policy as posted on the website?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Brett Freeman. Second, please.
Ethan seconds.
Thank you, Ethan. We'll do a roll call vote. Ethan Kay.
Aye.
Brett Freeman.
Aye.
Miller Zhang.
Aye.
Glenn Rogers.
Aye.
And Dr. Edward Watson.
I just want to be clear, this is the one that's been there for forever, right?
On the site.
And it's not this second draft that I got.
Yeah,
that's correct. It's the one that's on the
Yep.
site, Edward.
All right.
Not considering the draft that was proposed yet.
Okay. Aye.
Okay, thank you. And I'm a yes as well on that. And that's great. We've got opportunities for board recommendations if there are any prior to our adjournment. Board members, any recommendations either for myself as president or our current executive director, anything on your minds? Okay. I want to thank board members especially for the robust conversation. I apologize that much of our meeting tonight was closed session, however necessary. And so with that, I'll ask for a Motion.
Doug, can I say one word?
Oh, please do. Yeah.
You know, I just want to commend you, Doug. You know, this has been a very thankless job for many people that's trying to do the right thing. As I've been sharing my thoughts, you're taking consideration and to understand and to take of how it fits within all the different pieces. It's been commendable. I understand there's been many point of views. Some people are privileged to hear and not understand many different stakeholders, but I have to say, Doug, you have absolutely, during this very, very tough time, trying to do wholeheartedly doing the right thing as we go through this process. And we're gonna keep working through this. So thank you, Doug.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Look forward to our work between now and Tuesday. So we'll carry on, and things do move a little bit slower with public processes, and yet thank you, board, for wanting to do things, as you said, in closed session, right and well. And we're going to do things right and well. So thank you for that. Could I have a motion then for adjournment?
Ethan, motions to adjourn.
Thank you, Ethan. I'll second that and do a roll call vote. Ethan Kay.
Aye.
And Brett Freeman.
Aye.
And Miller Zhang. I see you with your hand, Miller. Give me a thumbs up if that's a yes. Thank you. And then Dr. Edward Watson. And Doug Hewson is a yes as well. Thank you all for your patience. And again, we do record these so they can be viewed at people's leisure. Mary Beth, we can bring the recording to an end if you like.